Hello, my dear children and parents. Welcome to class 6th of Indus Valley Public School RAT, where we will be doing lesson number 5 from Honeysuckle book. And the name of the lesson is A Different Kind of School by E.V. Lucas. Children, in this lesson, we are going to learn about a message that how doing simple things can make learning more interesting and easier. That means learning while doing, learning with activity is the best way to learn different things. Moreover, other than learning routine things, we need to make ourselves aware and concerned about our environment and its problem. How can we make children more responsible and aware citizens? This will be learned in this lesson. Okay? So before moving towards the lesson, we should know about our author. About author E.V. Lucas. His full name is Evert Verral Lucas. He is an English humorist, essayist, playwright, biographer, publisher, poet, novelist, short story writer and editor. He was born on 12th June 1868 in London, England, and he died on 26th June 1938, Marylebone, England. He did his education from Friends School, Saffron Walden. Okay. Now, here I'll give an introduction. See, this lesson addresses an important social concern for the differently abled. Differently abled means disabled people. Okay. Its aim is to make our children appreciate and understand misfortune and make them share in misfortune. In this school, each term, every child has to play different types of games like blind, lame, deaf, dumb and injured. Okay. So, and the real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to disabled person and to make them a responsible citizen of the nation. Okay, so the aim of the school is to make the children understand the different situations faced by the different kind of people and to become a responsible citizen of the nation. Okay, to develop the thoughtfulness in the child. This is the aim of this school. So here children used to play different kind of games. What are the games? Blind day, lame day, dumb day, deaf day, injured day. So what they used to do in the blind day? See, in the blind day, during the blind, the students' eyes are bandaged absolutely and they are instructed not to pee. So their eyes were covered and they were instructed not to see from there. The bandage is put on overnight so they awake blind. This means that they need help with everything. So bandage were put upon their eyes in the night itself. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. They all learn much this way, both blind and the helper. So by doing so, they can learn how a blind person feels and how the other person who is helping him or her will do the activity. कहने का मतलब ये है कि दोनों पर्सन को फीलिंग्स आती हैं कि अगर ब्लाइंड है पर्सन तो उसको कैसा फील होगा और जो उसको हेल्प कर रहा है तो हेल्पिंग में क्या क्या रिक्वायरमेंट होती है एक ब्लाइंड पर्सन का, हम यहाँ पे दोनों चीज़ लर्न करेंगे. कैसे? बाय द एक्टिविटी, ब्लाइंड एक्टिविटी एंड द हेल्पर्स एक्टिविटी. ओके, नाउ coming to the other day is the dumb day. So what happened in the dumb day? In this game, children's mouths are banded. They have not to speak even a single word. Thus, they really have to exercise their willpower. Some children feel that this day is the most difficult game because they cannot bandage their mouth. So here, when they used to play this game, they have to keep their mouth shut. They will not utter a single word. So some of the children think this day is the most difficult day because it was very difficult for them to keep their mouth shut. Okay. Then next day is your lame day. So here what happened? Students feel the lame day as a very funny day. They hop with a leg tied up. Sometimes an arm was tied up, but it was a more troublesome because one cannot eat without help. Okay. So they by putting their leg or by wrapping the leg or wrapping the hand, they play the lame day. Then your other day was deaf day. So in this game, children's ears are stuffed with cotton, so they cannot listen to their friends' conversation. They are bound to understand through the gesture by anyone. Thus, they realize the problem of the deaf person. Last one is your injured day. So on this day, the children play a role of an injured person. They cry for help because of pain. Thus, they feel how to help an injured person. So here, different kinds of activities of a sufferer is played. So here the sufferer as well as the helper, both experience are shown in the lesson. Okay children, so now moving towards the lesson. Lesson name, a different kind of school. So this is the school. See how the girl is bandaged and this boy is helping her. Okay, so this way they used to do the things. Now coming to your first paragraph. I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. So I is the narrator speaker. Okay, so here great deal means to a great extent. Okay, so the narrator is saying that he had heard a lot about Miss Beam's school, but he got a chance to visit in the previous week. Okay, next, when I arrived, there was no one in sight but a girl of about 12, means a girl of 12 years. Her eyes were covered with a bandage and she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy who was about 4 years younger. She stopped and it looked like she asked him who had come. He seemed to be describing me to her. Then they passed on. Okay, so here the narrator already reached the school and he did not find anyone except 2 children, that means a girl of 12-year-old and her eyes were covered with a bandage, and a 4-year-old boy who was guiding her between flower bed, means 2 क्यारियाँ बनी थी फ्लावर्स की, उसके बीच में से वो बॉय गर्ल को लेके जा रहा था. He was guiding the way. She stopped as if to know who had come, and it seemed that the boy explained the visitor in detail to her, and then they both passed on. Miss Beam was all that I had expected, middle-aged, full of authority, yet kindly and understanding. So here Miss Beam का description is given. Okay, her hair was beginning to turn grey, and she had the kind of plump figure that is likely to be comfortable to a homesick child. So plump means stout, means she is little bit fat. Okay, I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. So here now the narrator had some kind of imagination towards Miss Bean, towards the principal, and now he is saying that Miss Bean was middle-aged, dominating yet friendly and understanding lady. It is expected the same way she resulted. Her hair was turning grey, she was fat, and probably was trying to make a homesick child feel at ease. The author questioned her about the simple methods she used for teaching. Okay? No more than is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and writing. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. There are practically no other lessons. So still means without moving. So when the narrator asked the different way of teaching, so principal replied, and she replied that in a school they taught simply by helping them to learn simple spellings, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and writing skills. The rest of the learning was done by reading to them and conducting interesting talks during which they were supposed to sit silently, quietly, without moving. Except this, there were actually no other lesson. The real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to others, and being responsible citizen. Look out of the window a minute, will you? So now what happened? So responsible here means the person who is too much concerned about his duties, who is very much aware about his duties. So now what she, after telling all kind of description, now she is saying that the actual aim of this school, now she is explaining the aim of this, her school, aim of her school. What was the aim? The aim was to teach thoughtfulness to the students, to make them sensible, kind, and concerned towards others, and to awaken them to their duties. Then she asked the author to look out of the window. I went to the window, which overlooked a large garden and a playground at the back. What do you see? Miss Bean asked. So overlooked means have a view of something from above. Okay. So now what happened? So when she asked, now after explaining the everything to the narrator, she asked the narrator to look at the window, and what he see? When he went there, so he saw a big garden, a very huge garden. Okay. I see some very beautiful grounds, I said, and a lot of jolly children. It pains me, though, to see that they are not all so healthy and active looking. When I came in, I saw one poor little girl being led out. She has some trouble with her eyes. Now I can see two more with the same difficulty. and there's a girl with a crutch watching the others at play. She seems to be a hopeless cripple. Now, cripple means disabled person. So now narrator had noticed some children who were not very healthy and active. Then after coming inside from the garden, he noticed a girl who had a trouble with her eyes. Then again he observed two more children with the same kind of disability. So he also noticed a girl with a crutch who was watching the other children at play. Perhaps she was lame. Okay. Miss Beam laughed. "Oh no," she said. "She is not really lame. This is only her lame day. The others are not blind either. It is only their blind day." I must have looked very surprised, for she laughed again. So now, after seeing all these children, narrator felt very bad. He was having sympathy towards them. But seeing the narrator, Miss Beam laughed at him and explained that she was not lame. She is only playing her lame day game. And the others are also not blind. They are observing their blind day. She laughed again and gave me an astonished look. This is very important part of our life system to make our children appreciate and understand misfortune. Misfortune means a condition that is not in the favor. We make them share in misfortune too. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. During the blind day, their eyes are bandaged absolutely, and they are on their honor not to peep. They are on their honor not to peep. The bandage is put on overnight, so they wake blind. This means that they need help with everything. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. They all learn so much this way, both the blind and the helpers. So misfortune, bad luck, I've already told. Their eyes are bandaged, means their eyes is covered. Okay, and are on their honor, that means have promised. So now Miss Beam is explaining that to make their children appreciate, accept and understand misfortune with the same kind as fortune, they have made such activities an essential part of their system. Each term means each year, every child is supposed to observe one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. Now it's a blind day. So what they used to do on the blind day, I've already explained earlier. So on the blind day, their eyes are blindfolded and they promise that day not to peep at all. And this is done overnight so that they wake up in a blind mode and get help for everything they do. Other children have the duty to help and guide them. This way, both the blind and the helpers learn a lot of things. Okay. Next paragraph. There is no miserly about it. So miserly means difficulty or unpleasantness. Miss Beam continued, everyone is very kind and it is really something of a game. Before the day is over, though, even the most toughest child realizes what misfortune is. So thoughtless means careless. Okay. So Miss Beam further said that with this type of game, even a very careless child learns to be responsible at the end of the day. Okay. The blind day is, of course, really the worst. But some of the children tell me that the dumb day is the most difficult. We cannot bandage the children's mouth, so they really have to exercise their willpower. Come into the garden and see for yourself how the children feel about it. So, here it is told that no doubt a blind day was the worst, but according to some children, dumb day was the most difficult as mouth could not be bandaged. The children had to use their willpower. In that case, then she took the narrator to the garden to see him, to watch the children and their feelings himself. Okay. Miss Beam led me to one of the bandaged girl. Here's a gentleman come to talk to you, said Miss Beam, and left us. Now what she did? Miss Beam, she took the narrator to the bandaged girl, and after introducing to them, she left them. Okay. So let's see what happened. Don't you ever peep? I asked the girl. So now narrator is asking to the girl who was bandaged, you never try to look out of this bandage? Oh no, she exclaimed. That would be cheating. But I had no idea. It was so awful to be blind. You can't see a thing. You feel you're going to be hit by something every moment. It's such a relief just to sit down. So now the girl is replying anxiously that it would be cheating. But if I peep out of this bandaged area, then it will be cheating. Before this experience, she never realized that being blind was that bad. Awful means bad. One was not able to see anything, and at every step one fears of being hit by something. So just sitting down was a comfort. Ask your helper kind to you? I asked. Are your helpers kind to you? I asked. So now narrator is asking whether your helper is doing good to you. Are they polite to you? Fairly, but they are not as careful as I shall be when it is my turn. Those that have been blind already are the best helpers. It's perfectly ghastly not to see. I wish you would try. So ghastly means causing fear or horror. डर रहता है अंदर से. Okay. So shall I lead you anywhere? I asked. So now what happened? So narrator further asked the girl if her helper were kind. So her response was positive, that they used to help her very nicely. But according to her, the intensity of help and care was lesser. She would be better helper during the turn. As per her statement, people who are experienced and blindness become better helpers. So who already had played the game of blind, they will do their activity very nicely. As they were able to understand their position, the inability to see was scary and full of fear. She wished he could give it a try. So now the girl wishes that they should give a try for this game. Then he asked her if he could show her the way and help her to go anywhere. So now author is asking whether she wants any kind of help or she wants to go anywhere. If yes, then he can drop her. Oh yes, she said. Let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad days can't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, I guess. Having an arm tied up is a bit more troublesome because you can't eat without help and things like that. I don't think I will mind being deaf for a day, at least not much. But being blind is so frightening. My head aches all the time just of worrying that I'll get hurt. Where are we now? So now glad means happy, hopping, to leap or to jump with quick short steps. Crutch, a long stick to support a disabled person. Troublesome means annoying or irritating. Frightening means terrifying or making afraid. So now the girl replied in acceptance because the author asked, the narrator asked the girl whether he can help her. So girl is replying yes and suggests to go for a walk, and she said let's go for a walk. She also asked him to tell about things. She said that she would be full of joy once the day is over. She further said that even the bad days would be half as bad than to be blind in her opinion. Other things were fun, like to have a leg tied up and jump on a shot, having a arm tied up, with still annoying as it was difficult to eat without help, and so on. She said that she would not only be deaf for a day, but being blind actually scared her. It troubles her mind with the fear that she would get hurt. Okay, so she said blind is very difficult because she every now and then she thinks that she is going to hit by something or the other thing, and now she is asking where she is. In the playground, I said, we are walking towards the house. Miss Beam is walking up and down the garden with a tall girl. What is the girl wearing? My little friend asked. A blue cotton skirt with pink blouse. I think it's Millie, she said. What color is her hair? Very light, I said. Yes, that's Millie. She is the head girl. There's an old man tying up roses, I said. Yes, that's Peter. So, a girl is there who was wearing a dress, and when the narrator gave the description, she realized that girl is school head girl. Then again a description of the boy is given, and she identified it might be Peter. Yes, that's Peter. He is the gardener's. He's 100 of years old. Okay. As here comes a girl with curly red hair. She is on crunch. So now he told another girl she is on crunch. Then the girl. She said that she is Anita. She said. And so we walked on. Gradually, I discovered that I was 10 times more thoughtful than I ever thought I could be. I also realized that if I had to describe people and things to someone else, it made them more interesting to me. When I formally had to leave, I told Miss Beam that I was very sorry to go. Ah, she replied, then there is something in my system after all. So troublesome means difficulty, gradually means slowly. So now the narrator told her that, who is her? The girl who was asking the way, that they were in the playground and were walking towards the house. Miss Beam was walking up and down the garden with a tall girl. The little girl called the narrator and asked what dress that girl was wearing. He explained to her the details of the dress, a blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse. She further inquired the color of her hair, and knowing the light color of her hair, she guessed her to be Millie. She is the head girl. The narrator told her that an old man was trying to rouse up. She responded that he was Peter, 100-year-old gardener. Then a girl with curly red hair on front crossed. She told that she was Anita. The narrator realized that he became more thoughtful and sensitive towards the issue of disability and did not want to leave the place where he had to go. Miss Beam proudly said that the system of school was so special and unique that the visitor also feels so. Okay, so this visitor who visited Miss Beam's school, he also realized by different kind of activities and different kind of confidence that he feels by seeing the disabled person. Okay, he realized that different kind of activities done in order to make the children learn about the misfortune of other people, so they can become the thoughtful person and can become a responsible citizen of the country or of the nation. Okay children, this is all about the lesson. Go through the lesson, read again and again. If any doubt, please do ask me on my call or whenever we have a doubt class. Okay, till then, bye bye, take care and thank you.